Hi everybody and welcome to the behind the scenes of the Karkosa Christmas specials. I am Michael Warnock and I'm going to tell you all about it. What's the story behind the specials and why did you make them? Well, originally it was meant to be a build-up towards a 5-year reunion, a gig that we would perform next year in 2026, as obviously Karkosa came to an end in 2021. Obviously that also did not happen, considering a good chunk of Karkosa die in the final video. And so the reason for that was mostly just down to scheduling issues. Me and Will don't really live in England anymore. Tom is a very busy man. And it just kind of made sense to go in a different direction. What were some of your inspirations? A big inspiration was Doctor Who. Whenever they did Christmas specials, they were a lot more corny and camp. And I really wanted to capture that same sort of tone with the Karkosa Christmas specials. The intro and title cards were also heavily inspired by Better Call Saul. The way they start with a black and white opener each season that kind of shows you a future look into Saul's life. And then also just the title cards being like this VHS tape that's distorted. The inspiration is it's basically just my version of that, really. The very first cover was actually inspired by a video I received by a fan for my birthday. And it was of a cover of Winter Wonderland. It was very sweet, and it's kind of what kicked off this whole idea to an extent. Share a fun fact about each special. In the first special, you hear "I Wish It Could Be Christmas" playing in the title cards. And that was meant to be a nod to what the eventual final cover would be. That was until I tried to perform it at the beginning of this year, only to find that I could not reach the notes singing-wise. Even in lower pitches, it just was not working. So instead, I pivoted to "Merry Christmas, Everyone," which ended up being the final cover. And I do make a little subtle joke about it in the final video, so be sure to have a look to see if you noticed that. Last Christmas was actually filmed in the summer, as it was the only time we could all do it, scheduling wise. And so I had to try and make the video look cooler in the color grade. So I was always curious to see if anyone picked up on that at Christmas and could tell that we just made it look bluer. For Jingle Bell Rock, we actually went all the way to the south of England to film that video. I rented a B&B for 2 nights, and it was just such a fun experience as we had a hot tub, we had these cool nearby towns to explore, and it was a nice little trip as well as just filming a music video. And it was great working with Raw Sound TV again. That will definitely be one of the highlights of this entire experience. I really enjoyed that trip. For Merry Christmas, Everyone, the original plan was to have Karkosa all together, performing in a gig venue to a big crowd of family and friends and just audience members. And that would have been the general concept for the video. Almost like a prequel to the reunion gig we would do in 2026. And then at the very end, there'd just be like a note saying Karkosa will return. And that kind of would have set the stage for the 2026 reunion. So that was the original idea. Obviously, that changed quite drastically. Are you happy with how things turned out? Yeah, I am, to be fair. As I think if it wasn't for Tom pulling out due to just being really busy, I would never have kind of explored this crazier version of what has become the final special. There was a point where I was just like, okay, well, if I can't have Karkosa, I'm just going to kill them off. As that's very me, like just to do something so dumb and silly. Ultimately, more fun. It kind of turned out really, and then came the idea with the snowman and to perform to a crowd of friends and family that just looked miserable. I think that was really entertaining, and I think that was a great way to end it, as it doesn't stamp on anything that we did in the final gig in 2021. Karkosa came to an end. Then we did a couple of extra Christmas covers, but the message still kind of stands clear, you know. Like at the beginning of this series, me and Jack set off to find Karkosa, reunite the band, and instead we find a band, but it's not the one we were expecting. And that's, you know, the journey was having those experiences, performing music with each other, making silly videos. That's what this series is all about. It was just doing it for a little longer before saying officially goodbye. And I'm really happy with that, especially that final shot with me and Jack. I'm glad that it came to an end in a way that was satisfying. Thank you so much for watching the Karkosa Christmas specials. I hope you enjoyed them, and be sure to have a lovely Christmas and a happy New Year. I've been Michael Warnock, and goodbye. All right, that should be it.